This is the perfect cold email script. It's responsible for making our clients over $140,000 in monthly recurring revenue, plugging us over 180 sales calls, and consistently achieving over a 20% positive reply rate. After sending a million cold emails and testing hundreds of different strategies and formats, we finally found one framework that is completely outperforming anything we've ever tested. Everything with the help of AI. In today's video, we will break down the script as well as the step-by-step process you need to follow to effectively implement it. So be sure to watch the whole thing, because if you don't, you might experience a decline in your reply rate. To make this email strategy effective, we want to make sure that we can handle the responses we receive automatically without sounding like an AI bot. We use a tool called Ghostwrite, enabled by AI, which gives us the ability to write strong emails also sounding like you are using different tones depending on the situations. For example, jumping into the tool here itself. So Ghostwrite can be found just via ghostwrite.rip or on the Google extension store. But really the way that you'll utilize it is you'll ultimately just get started here, and there'll be a plugin process that you'll have to go through, plus or minus 2 minutes to just get onboarded. Now the tool itself, what it looks like in function, right? So Nick is going back and forth here around some single sign-on and onboarding of a client. Let's say we quickly want to reply to this client. We will just tell Ghostwrite how we want to reply. Let's say, tell Nick we think that's a good strategy. Let us know if any questions, right? Let's actually change the tone to more professional, because we're already coming off rather casual. The length automatic, and then the language will be automatic as well. Since we're English, we'll keep it English. Right, from there, Ghostwrite will start creating a templated, an AI-enabled message, right? Hi Nick, that sounds like a good strategy to move forward with. Please let us know if you have any questions or need any further assistance. We appreciate your diligence in ensuring everything works smoothly with the Compodio campaign, the new client that we just brought on, right? So that is way more professional than I would ever write, but it's so great because for that exact example, right? It is so much more professional than I would ever write and consistently plug in. So one of the great things about Ghostwrite is that over the course of time, right, after 50 or 75 emails, it'll really get a sense for how you write or how you want to write, and then it'll just the algorithm and the AI will become systematically better. As part of their onboarding process, they'll actually go back and read about 1,000 emails that you previously sent just to get a sense on the tone and the formality of what you speak. It's one of the most beneficial AI writing tools that I've seen and has reduced our response time drastically. So we're not sounding like an AI robot, but actually somebody that is human, that is fed from a human into the system itself to be more targeted in your outreach there. So let's jump into GPT and show you a little bit more. So we're in GPT-4. We purchased the GPT-4 as we've just found it's rather effective, and then GPT 3.5 is great as well. We just like GPT-4 since it can generate images, which is great. But for the purpose of this video, the first thing that we're going to want to do is prompt the GPT as to what its purpose is. So GPT, you are my dedicated research assistant for a new client that we took on. Let's just say BuzzLead. I will be asking you a series of questions to understand more about their ideal clients that would benefit from their solution, typical pain points, how they usually solve their problems, and what's our value add to the market. Right, I am all set with BuzzLead's requirements. Let's dive into understanding their ideal clients, typical pain points. Okay, right, so let's say, who typically derives the highest value? Because your client's gonna know what they sell, right? So let's say B2B, cold email, lead generation services. Delete this remaining prompt. Right, and this will give us an idea of the market itself. Right, SaaS and tech companies, so yep, that's some of our clients. Consulting professional services, yep, those are some of our clients. Manufacturing distributors, yep, those are some of our clients. We don't work with any B2B retailers yet, not to say we can't. We work with startups, and then we've done also CRMs and ERP solutions as well. So yep, that's pretty straightforward. So let's say now we know the targets that we're going after. Say who are the typical personas that purchase services? Say our services. That'll provide your response. All right, here are the targeting audiences that we're going after now. Say, okay, what are the typical challenges that these personas encounter when trying to book meetings via cold email? Low open and response rates, yep. Email delivery issues, right? So now we're getting ideas that we can leverage as painted as like FUD in our email targeting strategies. Now, how would they generate leads or meetings without a third-party service like ours? Right? These are all great FUD though that we can encounter, right? Data quality and list building, compliance with regulations, measuring success, building a trust and authority, timing involved, right? These are all ideas that we can leverage, right? Are you finding that your team is struggling to follow up correctly with warm leads, or are you finding that your team is struggling to really nail their product positioning with cold email outreaches, right? These are all different FUD and questions that we can ask our clients to really get them concerned. How would they generate leads without services like ours, right? So now we're getting an understanding of the before and after state, right? What does that comparison look like between the two? So what would they do if we didn't exist? Those are the questions, right? Now that GPT is all loaded up with this previous information that we've acquired, right? Who we're going after, who typically derives the most value out of our services, what's that persona look like? What would they do without us? And then, right, based on their knowledge now that they shared, what's our competitive advantage so that we can leverage that to book meetings via cold email. This is just for our vertical, right? And so you could plug in whatever intended vertical that you want to operate in, but this is just really just gives you really good content to work with. All right, we'll just let this run here. Advanced tools and analytics, personalization at scale, exactly what today's video is about. Compliance and deliverability. We have other videos on that. Time and resource efficiency, right? And so these are all the value props that you can start throwing in within the offer segment of your actual script there itself. Great. So that's how we really utilize GPT-4. At the end of this, you should have a clear picture of who it is you should be targeting, what are the typical challenges they encounter that you can leverage this FUD, how they might solve it so you can objection handle, and then what's your offer to the market here itself. The next tool that we really enjoy utilizing for, I think it's probably one of the early applications of AI and machine learning, has been personalizing first lines of emails to capture the prospect's attention and get them to read your offer later in the email. We use AI personalization in markets that are highly competitive or pitching enterprise solutions. In either case, you're typically able to figure out a decent amount about the prospect or audience based on their website, recent news, description, or LinkedIn. The tools we utilize for AI personalization are Cargo, GPT for Sheets, or Clay. For the purposes of this video, I will be demonstrating our tool called Clay. It's a web-based software application that allows you to pull information from websites or LinkedIn profiles to form personalized first lines to capture the reader's attention. First thing you'll want to do is just upload a sheet into Clay. That's rather simple. You just kind of import companies from CSV or import people. You drag and drop that sheet in here. Now, once that sheet is in here, it will end up looking something like this, right? So we have the LinkedIn profile, the first name, last name, job title, company name, right? All this relevant information as the way they're based out of. Now, for personalization here, let's actually do this. We'll come over here. We'll hit enrich data. AI, use AI. All right, let's see. They have a bunch of templates typically available. Right, let's just use email first lines. Since we don't have this information, let's actually do the LinkedIn profile since we have that information. Let's just try this for free on the first 5 rows. I'm just plugging in their LinkedIn profile there. I'm not exactly scraping a recent post that they made. Yeah, I didn't think that might work. So let's come in here. Let's try this again. Let's actually use AI. Don't save that. Use AI. And let's actually create our own prompt for the purposes of this video here. So let's prompt it with this. GPT, you are my cold email writing assistant. Your goal is to create a personalized first line introduction to an email using information from /website and /LinkedIn profile. Demonstrate that to the customer that you're interested in their field and find them interesting. Your tone casual, keep it under 1 sentence. All right, we'll try this and run it on the 5 first rows for free. Now, it's going to take some tinkering, right? It's not always perfect in the first iteration, and it usually includes quotations sometimes. So we just have to tinker around with it to make sure that we get the ideal output that we're looking for here. Hey there, I was really impressed by your innovative approach to home equity sharing at Figure.com. Pretty good. Hey there, Dustin. I was deeply impressed by how you've been steering innovation at HomeCamp, especially that's pretty darn good. Amazing, right? Those are great personalized first lines. We really just want to utilize these to get the prospect's attention to continue reading on in our email. That's one of the toughest really tactics in a whole cold email strategy. It's like you can of course write personalized first line for every email and go through 1,000 prospects. It's going to take you a couple days though. With utilizing AI, we can do that at scale, right? And so that's one of the biggest applications that we've been able to find so far. Now, step 4 is hands down the best application we've seen for utilizing AI in copywriting, and it's just going to be providing marketing ideas or proposals or content ideas or website audit strategy. So we'll essentially deploy a GPT to scrape websites, pulling some ideas based on the repository of highly performing content. Now, how you want to frame these AI content ideas is entirely up to you. What we do sounds something like this. Hey Tom, I was on your website the other day and noticed some things that might be leaving revenue on the table. Content idea 1, content idea 2, content idea 3. Sharing that without knowing too much about your website and growth strategy, but thought you might find it interesting. Open and exploring this a bit more over a call next week and how we might be able to help. That's one example. Alternatively, what you might also try to do is, hey Bill, I was on your site the other day and had some difficulty. I fear other buyers might be having a similar experience. Had a few ideas I wanted to run past you as to how it could increase customer conversions. AI content idea 1, content idea 2, and then content idea 3. Sharing that without knowing too much about your website and SEO strategy, but thought you might find it interesting. Open and exploring this more over a call next week and how we might be able to help. So that's what it sounds like in theory, right? That's what the email will essentially look like. So essentially how it'll work is the exact same thing. We'll jump back over to Clay now. So we're in Clay, we're working off the same sheet. And so we're utilizing that use AI function again, but we're coming in here, right? We're clicking blog ideas. The client we have in this use case, they sell content services. So we're once again creating a custom prompt. Create 3 high authority viral copywriting content ideas for blogs based on website. These should be bullet points. Ideas must remain under 40 characters, be more detailed, provide specific recommendations for the site, remove quotations in any suggestion. We'll try this and run it on the first 5 rows. Now, ideally what this should look like is idea 1, 2, and then 3. So those are a little bit longer than what we expected, right? Now we're going to be like, gotta really chastise in here. The ideas must remain under 40 characters. It is of ideas are short but relevant to the client. My job, actually let's not guilt it yet. We only like to guilt it if it's not working out. We're using AI here still. Right, and you gotta tweak it sometimes. Much better, right? Figure.com simplifies home equity. Transform debt with Figure loans. Invest smarter with Figure loans. Great, right? Sometimes you want to clean this up. We'll have to come in here and clean up the data. Maximize profits, tax strategy guide, growth hacks, small biz evolution, right? And so like as an individual, you can imagine reading that prompt and saying, wow, like they actually thought about some content ideas that we can utilize for our business. And so that's just one application that you can use it for. You can, of course, utilize this for other things like website audit ideas or customer conversion tracking or lead generation or website audits or marketing ideas, right? Creative sales. It should provide you just with that bullet point list that you can really just easily import into your campaigns. Let me just quickly show you what a before and after of that will look like. Now we have our ideas. Those will be exported onto an Excel spreadsheet. We'll then import those into our sending tool. We will just want to include those in one of the major importing fields that we're including over. So the template should look something like this. I was on your website today and had a few SEO/backlinking ideas for you. We provide the ideas, and then when we start running it in our email sending tool, it'll actually pull over, right? And that here are the ideas that we can include. Collaborate with tech blogs like TechCrunch for guest posting, engage in forum discussions, list on business directives, right? These are all solid link building ideas that will help grow their business incredibly. And so we like to utilize that in a step 2 of the email sequence, or excuse me, yeah, step 2 of the email sequence. So as you might have seen, this email took us from bland and generic to personalized, relevant, and targeted with proper testing and implementation. But this is just one of the steps that we use to achieve these results. So check out this video here where we'll show you how to build a cold email campaign live that you can immediately implement in your business and start testing this framework. And if you want access to a full step-by-step document on how to fully implement this in your agency, click the link in my description.